What's up, dude? You wanna play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3? Dude! What's up, everybody? It's me, Tuna Boy, and while I'm not making a cringy segment to this video, I'm usually playing video games. And with games, usually they get old, and when they need to get new, usually they get refixed or remade and then get sold again for a higher price or more. Usually a lot of these are good, and usually a lot of these are Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition. And nobody wants to be a Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition. But one of these are better than all of the remakes. And yes, I am talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. And for today's video, I'm going to explain why it's the best remake of all time. So, let's go on to the video. Yay! Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 was released back in 2020, developed by Vicarious Visions and then published by Activision with really good reviews. But why is it for that specific reason? But I think it's because it's been around for 20 years, and with all of its up and downs that it's been around in the series, they would obviously know about what would be good for the series and what would be bad for the series. And yes, I'm talking about you, Project 8, with your terrible slow motion effect. So, that's why I think this went really successful. And also maybe because that this is a very popular series that people really like a lot. Which, hey, I don't really complain about that, because one of my favorite games in the series is American Wasteland. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this game. Well, the first thing I want to talk about is just how good this game looks. Just looking at this looks really good for Xbox One, and I'm not even lying, this is really good. But the stage that shows more of it looking really good is in the San Francisco stage in the first Tony Hawk game. Like, just, there's leaves. And this was a game that released in 2020, where all the bricks were blocking all the doors. So for them to develop a game at that time, this is really impressive, and I'm very thankful for this being really good. But is it better than any of the other remakes? Well, not really. This is good, but there is sometimes some of its flaws, like terrible internet connection or sometimes weird glitches. But this is still really good for its time. Oh yeah, wait, did I just mention online mode? I couldn't show any of the footage of the multiplayer because, well, it keeps loading a very long time, but I could say from a couple times me trying the online mode, it's pretty good. It's not great, it's more just playing the mini games that I could play on multiplayer, but it's still really good. Well, if we can't play with other players, then at least we still have Creative Park, which is alright. Okay, well, it is good, but it's just you need a lot of time to actually make something good. And then when you actually make something decent, it doesn't really work as well, and it doesn't look as good as some of the stages in the Tony Hawk games. I think it's just more that you have that this is just more your decision on what you create than actually the developers making the game, which actually takes a lot more time than making a stage for 17 people to see. Okay, well, let's just go back to what we were talking about, which was the career mode, the main part of the Tony Hawk game. In the career mode, there are about 9 main stages. 2 career stages, 1 competitive stage, 2 career stage, 1 competitive stage, 1 career stage, and then 1 competitive stage. It goes in that order all the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games until the story mode games where it all went into a story-based game than more of a becoming nobody to a pro skater. Which I have to say is that the career mode actually works well for the series, as that more of the skateboarding genre, having to do multiple tricks and doing a lot of tricks for points. This really fits well and brings forth many wacky ideas. Those type of ideas more show on the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 game and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. While it doesn't have the career mode type and has more of a story, it more still kind of acts like the career mode in the other 3 games that were there before him. And during the game, there's some parts where you have to complete objectives to then unlock the stages, which is obviously a really good idea. And while sure, these objectives are really annoying and pretty difficult, at most of the part they're pretty simple if you just know what to do. And if you're not trying to 100% the game, then it's not really difficult if you just do the high scores and then the collectibles. Which usually the collectibles are just the skate letters, or usually something unique like a passport or something like the Liberty Bell, but usually it's different in each stage. And one of those unique collectibles are the skate tapes, which are just tapes with like videos in them. But you can't actually see a video. You more have to collect stats or just do some objectives to actually unlock the tapes for the characters in the games, which I'll go on next right now. Usually in games, there's always a character that you have to choose, and in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, there's about 21 characters to choose from, like Tony Hawk, Bob Burnquist, Rodney Mullen, Chad Muska, and a lot of more other characters, with even additional 4 characters that you can design yourself, which I have to say are really cool, because even with those created characters, you can even design them to yourself for however you like to make them look. There's a lot of cosmetic stuff in this game, but don't worry, there's no microtransactions yet. It's just like you just have to play through the game to unlock the money to buy the outfits, which I recommend a lot more than any of the other things, like having to pay for money to actually wear the outfits. And this company is Activision, so you don't really know if they're going to add microtransactions or if there aren't, which obviously they are going to add some, which I'm not sure when, but I know they are. And this is the part where I'm about to end the video. And while sure there is a lot of other stuff to talk about, but I more wanted to talk about more of the focus in the game than a lot of the other side stuff, which sure I did mention some of the side stuff, but that's the stuff they actually use, not like the tutorial or the movies, which are like the secret tapes. And I really have to be honest, is that this game is really good, and from this remake being made by Vicarious Visions, their reputation has actually been really good. From the Crash Bandicoot remakes and the ports from back then, these are really good games, and I'm not lying, these are really good games. So, the way to end off this video is for me to say that this game deserves a 5 out of 5. Yes, a little bit high for something like this, but hey, this is really good. I've said it too much, but it is. So to end off this video, I like to say thank you for watching, and I hope that you guys have a nice day. Again, thanks for watching, and eat your veggies.